Mike, where do you want to start?
Wherever you want to start, Dan.
How about my hot take that brought the fire department here to the man cave, where I talked about I see a scenario where Tony Romo, if the Cowboys have clinched home field advantage throughout, is going to get some playing time.
That's a little too hot for me.
Wow.
Yeah, here's why. I think they want to keep the guy healthy if they're going to trade him in the offseason. And the thing about Tony Romo, when he plays, he tends to get injured. So he's healthy. You only use him if you absolutely positively have to use him. And also, I'm not so sure they're going to have home field advantage clinched by Week 17. They're 2 games ahead of the Giants, but the Giants have beaten them once. The Giants play them again Sunday Night Football, Week 14, and the Giants otherwise only have to make up 1 game. And the next thing you know, the Cowboys could be not the champions of the NFC East. So I'm not sure they're going to have that luxury, but even if they do, I don't think you want to put Tony Romo out on the field.
You are a hot take topper is what you are right there.
You asked me a question, I answered it.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
Don't get sensitive here.
I'm not sensitive.
Feels like that.
I'm sensitive about being sensitive. Oh, no, wait, that's the quarterback of a certain team.
Oh, will you stop? Everything's good with Aaron Rodgers now, right?
Oh, hey, they're going to win the division. People think I'm crazy for saying that, and there's plenty of evidence that I am. But even though the Packers are 2 games behind the Lions, they've already beaten the Lions, and the Lions have a very tough schedule coming up. They play at New Orleans, at the Giants, at the Cowboys. All the Packers have to do, Dan, is make up 1 game over the next 4 weeks, and Week 17 is winner-take-all NFC North playoff play-in game, probably the game that we'll have on Sunday Night Football because, the NFL likes to have that game that is a postseason game, a de facto playoff game. And people think it's nuts because the Lions are 7-4 and they're winning all these games, and the Packers stink. The Packers got it together on Monday night, and if they keep it together, I think they're going to win that division.
Would you be willing to spin the wheel of punishment on this program if the Cowboys don't win the division?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh.
No, God, no. I've seen the outcome of the wheel of punishment. There better be something damn good on the upside for me to risk the wheel of punishment.
The NFL in London, are they changing the starting time of that game in London from 9:30 till 1 o'clock?
Well, the Wall Street Journal reported yesterday that they are, and the NFL has yet to come out and say that it's incorrect, so I'm assuming that they are ditching that extra window that makes for 14-hour days of football 3 times a year. And if it was drawing big ratings, then they would keep doing it. They love it, Dan, because it puts NFL games live in prime time in Asia. So that's one of the benefits of playing the game at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. But how ludicrous it is to have a game that starts involving the Rams at 6:30 a.m. Los Angeles time. So those London games are going to get subsumed back within the early window. That's the report from the Wall Street Journal. The NFL's yet to debunk it. So it looks like that's what's going to happen. And I think that was leaked yesterday because probably today, and if not today, very soon the NFL will announce the 3 games to be played next year in London.
And then we have Thursday night on NBC where it's the Vikings and the Cowboys. It was Joe Flint from the Wall Street Journal who had that report yesterday. The future of Thursday night football is what?
Well, I'm told that the NFL is going to take a look at limiting or eliminating Thursday night football. And the NFL has tried to debunk that report. And most recently, Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, said on radio in Dallas that the NFL is fully committed to Thursday night football. Look, the fact that they won't even discuss it, if that's accurate, and I believe it's not accurate, it's counter to everything else that's going on right now at 345 Park Avenue. They're trying to figure out how to solve this ratings issue. And one problem, Dan, when you've got 51 primetime games per year, that's nearly 20% of the entire schedule that is played in prime time. What does prime time mean? It means prime, not the Browns, not the Jaguars, all due respect, not the bad teams. It can't be bad teams in prime time. People aren't going to tune in for bad teams in prime time. They'll tune in for good teams in prime time. The problem is you can't fill a supply of Thursday night football every single week with all of the good teams because it's unfair to play on Sunday and then turn around and play on Thursday. So that effort to keep it fair for all 32 teams means every team plays a short week game once per year, which means teams that shouldn't be in prime time are in prime time. And at some point, the NFL has got to figure that out. You can't expect people to tune in big numbers to watch teams that don't belong in primetime. Rodney Harrison made the point a couple of weeks ago. It used to be you had to earn a primetime game. The NFL needs to get back to that point if it wants huge audiences. The audiences are smart enough now to not tune in at nighttime to watch a game that isn't worthy of a large audience tuning in.
I gave you a hot take. You returned serve there. You ready for a cold take?
I'll take whatever take you want to give me.
Paulie, give Mike Florio your cold take.
Oh, boy, Mike's going to tear this up. What if the NFL moved the Thursday night games to Friday night, then you alleviate the short turnaround a little bit, and you take out the player safety debate, give teams more time to prepare, and the games on Friday night, even though it's not a hot night for TV, people could stay up later and watch the entire game, East Coast, Midwest.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not going to generate big ratings because people are out on Friday nights, and you can't do it until after the first weekend in December because the broadcast antitrust exemption from the early 60s that lets the NFL sell all of its TV rights in bulk and not one team at a time specifically hinges on not playing on Saturdays or Fridays from Labor Day until early December. So that's why they don't do that. And that's why we just get those little snippets of Saturday games in December. And that used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? That was special. I mean, think back in the 70s. You didn't see much football, and you wanted more. And now when I talk to people, and personally, Dan, I like having standalone games. You know how hard it is on Sundays at 1 o'clock when we're watching 8-9 games at a time at NBC. It's hard to keep up with all those games at once. I'd like to watch one at a time. But now the people I talk to who are fans, who like the sport, they think that there's too much. In the 70s, there wasn't enough. Now there's too much. They need to strike the right balance.
What, Paulie?
So you're saying there's a chance, Mike?
In December. It would be a good idea for December. And one thing that they're going to look at, and again, the NFL can dispute it all they want, Thursday Night Football beginning after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And then you make the schedule in April with teams that you are confident are going to draw an audience no matter how good or bad their season may go. Cowboys, Patriots, big-ticket, big-audience teams. No Browns, sorry Browns, and maybe someday it will be the Browns. Every team should aspire to that. That's one of the rewards of being a good team. But people aren't going to tune in on a consistent basis to watch the mediocre and bad teams.
Better hair, you or Schefter?
Well, mine because I know it's real. I don't know what he's got.
Wow.
I haven't had a chance to
Oh,
inspect
my
it.
God. Shefty hairpiece? What?
I don't know. That hairline looks a little manufactured to me on the front end.
Wow, that is a hot
It looks like a row of crops to me at times, Dan. I'm
Man,
just saying.
the fire department may come back. Check the door. The fire department could come back. Good God, you just blew the roof off this place.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.